Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bethany. I'm an aspiring part-time content creator, and today I welcome myself back with wanting to share my story about being vitamin D deficient. I had all these goals about wanting to step out on faith and become a full-time content creator, but because I have a job and it keeps me so busy, I knew I needed to start off by being a part-time content creator. Unfortunately, my plans of doing that this year, of being consistent with videos, did somehow come to a stop. And it's simply because I wasn't feeling well. So I wanted to welcome myself back by just letting you guys into my life and what I've been going through. Recently, I found out that I was vitamin D deficient. Had absolutely no clue. But the signs were there, and I'm so happy that I got a chance to find out, and now I'm on the road to recovery. So I wanted to come on here and share my story in hopes that others can be proactive in checking their levels in case they are feeling the same symptoms that I've been feeling in the past several months. So let me give you guys an insight of what's been going on. I'm looking for somebody I can call. Looking for the only one I can get my own. Tell me that it's true. So this can get a little long, but I will try my best to keep this brief and really just get straight to the point of what happened in the beginning, my symptoms, and how I found out. So I would say, I think maybe around late February, maybe early March, I started feeling pains in my lower back. That's where it started. Well, at least I believe that's where it started. But initially, I was thinking to myself, maybe I need a new mattress. I've had my mattress going on 8 years. And I was thinking, well, 8 years, it's still a pretty good mattress, but maybe it is time for me to get a new mattress. Those were my initial thoughts. And so I went out to find like a mattress topper. I went to price out new mattresses. Cost of living has definitely gone through the roof, and inflation, so mattresses are really high right now. But that was my first thought to do once I was feeling like those lower back pains. So instead, I actually went a cheaper route and got a mattress topper, which is about, I think, 3 inches thick, and it was soft. And so once I was laying on it a couple of nights, I was noticing that the pain really wasn't going away. Then I noticed that my left side, was also having some pain. And anytime, once it was time for me to go to sleep, I'd always sleep on my side, especially my left side. My charger is on the left side of my bed, and normally before I'm going to sleep, I'm sure just like most of us, I'm scrolling on Instagram or TikTok maybe, and I'm laying on my side while my phone is charging. But I noticed that it would hurt so bad that I couldn't lay on my side anymore. So that was warning sign number 2. But, I was just thinking, well, maybe it's really nothing. I don't know. I just wasn't really quick to figure out what exactly was going on with my side. I just kept thinking maybe it's the mattress. Maybe my mattress is too hard. So as time went on, I went on a couple of trips with my friends. And one of my friends, he's a physician's assistant. And so when we met up in Vegas, I was just very tired. like really like fatigued to the point where I was just not really wanting to do any of the activities that we had to do. And anytime, you know, we would, you know, call it a night and, you know, have to get up the next morning to either, you know, go get brunch or do whatever, I was just still very tired, and it just sort of took me a very long time to just feel, you know, rejuvenated for the next day. However, I wasn't thinking, you know, my vitamin D levels were low. I was just like, well, I'm just tired. I work a lot. I have a lot going on in my life. I have a sick parent who I am power of attorney of, and I'm having to, you know, take care of them, find other people to take care of them through the week because I work full time and I have my own house. So, you know, that was definitely an area of stress. And so I was just thinking, well, you know, I'm in my mid to, you know, late 30s, and I was just thinking it was just normal to just be tired, you know. But definitely should have listened to my friend, because on our trip to Vegas in May, he said to me, you know, I think you should check your vitamin D levels. You could possibly be deficient. And I should have listened to him, because maybe I wouldn't have, you know, been in agony for, you know, the next few months. But, you know, I was just like, you're right, I probably should check them. But I wasn't really quick to check them once I got back home. But it was definitely in the back of my mind, just wasn't quick to check. So as time went on, well, let me go back a bit. While I was on the trip in Vegas, this is in May now, I started noticing that I was having pain in my foot. And I think I started noticing this pain in my foot probably maybe like April. I started noticing the pain, but to me, I just wasn't thinking it was like a big deal at the time, because it was like on the side of my foot. And it was just sort of like sore, you know. That's how it started off at first, just like sore. And I was thinking, well, maybe I'm walking on like the side of my foot. But when I got to Vegas, and you know, anybody who's been to Vegas know you are walking the majority of the time, you know, up and down the strip. And so we did a lot of walking, and I remember one night, oh my goodness, I woke up in excruciating pain. My calf muscles was just throbbing. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, do I have a blood clot? Like, what's going on? So I got up super early, before everybody was up running around Vegas, and went to like the nearest ER. And they took an x-ray of my foot, an ultrasound of my leg, and everything came back normal. They didn't see any, you know, tears or, you know, clots. So they were thinking that maybe it was a sprain. So I said, okay. They gave me some pain meds, and then they sent me on my way. When I got back to Memphis, I started noticing that the pain in my foot started to get worse. At this point, the pain in my foot is getting so bad, like it's causing sharp pain to shoot up my leg. And this is when I knew, okay, something is wrong. The pain was shooting up my leg. I went to urgent care. They said it was my sciatic nerve messing up. And I was thinking, well, not to age shame, but I know normally people who experience sciatica may be a little bit older than I am. And so I wasn't really thinking that that's what it was. But then, you know, the urgent care physician was like, well, you are pushing 40. And I was just like, well, I mean, you're right, I am. So maybe that's what it is. She gave me some pain meds and sent me on my way. But the pain got so bad that I couldn't walk on hard surfaces anymore. because it was that bad. Like I couldn't stand up for too long, or like the pain is literally shooting up my leg and causing me to have like headaches. So now I'm like limping everywhere. I can't even go outside to walk my dog because it's like I can't do anything. Like I couldn't do anything. So when it was time for me to lay down, oh my goodness, at this point it even hurts when I'm asleep. So I'm not even getting sleep. I'm, you know, trying to find different ways to fall asleep. I'm literally sleeping on 4 and 5 pillows because my back is hurting me, my side is hurting me, my leg now is hurting me. You know, I'm having like this tingling, sharp pain shoot up my leg, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on because people keep saying that I'm fine and it's this and it's that, and they're giving me like sciatica cream and all this other stuff, pain meds, and nothing is working. So, you know, I'm trying to get an appointment with my primary care physician, but she's all booked up. So I find another doctor and I go to her, explain all of my symptoms, and she's like, well, how about we start off with drawing your blood and just, you know, doing a full blood panel and just, you know, see what's going on. And also I'll refer you to an orthopedic specialist. I was like, all right, cool. So they did my blood work and it came back normal. It came back normal, and I'm like, okay. So I go to the orthopedic specialist and, you know, talking to him. So he's like, well, has anybody taken an x-ray of your back? And I'm like, no, because I said initially that's where the pain first started. So he took x-rays. X-ray was fine. He saw that I had, you know, a mild case of scoliosis, but I've been knowing about that since I was a kid. Definitely didn't think that was causing it. So he was like, here are some exercises, do them, come back in 2 weeks, and then we'll see what else we can do. Child, I went home for those 2 weeks and I was like, I'll attempt to try to do this, but I know these exercises is not going to heal me. So then 2 weeks came back and I said, I'm still hurting. And so he's like, well, let's get you an MRI. Okay, cool. I've had 2 MRIs on my leg from knee surgeries. And so I was just like, I think I'm gonna be okay. Well, child. Went to go get my MRI on my back and I went in head first. See, the last 2 times I had my MRI, I went in foot first and my head was out, and so I was okay. I was sleepy and I think I even like took a nap, but this time I went head first and oh my god, I didn't think I was claustrophobic, but baby, I am. That loud noise, that beating sound, whew, only God helped me get through that. So anyway, after that MRI, the results came back, they didn't see anything. So I'm just like, what is going on? So he's like, you're having, you know, neuropathy issues, and, you know, maybe it's time for us to check your nerves. So he gives me like, you know, medicine for neuropathy pain, and I took it 1 day. So I actually called my friend that's the physician assistant. His name is Ren. So I called Ren and told him, and that's one thing about having friends who are medical professionals. Always run things by them. Always. So he had been, you know, I've been keeping him updated on like everything that I was going through. So I told him about the medicine, and he was like, look, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, this medicine comes with a lot of side effects and you probably are not going to want to take it. He said, but in this case, since we just absolutely don't know what's going on with you, he was like, just try it for one day and just see, you know, and if you are, you know, feeling too many side effects, just stop it. I was like, all right, cool. I took it for that one day. And yeah, the next morning I didn't take it again because it was one of like the worst side effects I could have experienced. I was having like twitching in my face, and which was like weird. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. And what medicine was it? I can't remember what medicine was it. If I remember, I'll try to like plug it down here for you all. Yeah, another 2 weeks came by, and I told him that I was still experiencing all of the pain, and he was like, okay, let's get you scheduled for an EMG, which is a nerve test. I was like, all right, cool. So as time is going by, I started to notice that I was getting like these really bad headaches, and then I was feeling, I don't know, my chest was feeling weird, and I can't really describe it. I don't know if what I was experiencing were heart palpitations. I'm not sure, but I was experiencing something with my chest. Because I just remember like I was always doing this. It was just like tightness. I don't know. Just a very bizarre feeling. So then I also started noticing, along with, you know, the side pain, the lower back pain, the foot pain, because it was on my side and my heel, and sometimes I would feel it in the middle and the pain would be shooting up my leg. So that with fatigue, like I am exhausted. Like I am so tired. This was my routine every day, Monday through Friday. Get up, walk my dog. Well, try to walk my dog. So now at this point, I'm not even walking him, right? Like I'm putting the pads out, or maybe I'm like wobbling outside, letting him go pee, and then we're like coming back in. I work, you know, through Friday, and then on the weekends I wobble to my dad's house to go take care of him, and then, you know, I come back home and I'm just sleep. Like I had no social life outside of the 2 trips that I took earlier this year, including Vegas, and then earlier I went to Charlotte, and that's it. And I'm like sleeping the entire weekend away, and the only time I'm like going outside is to like go to my dad's house. I'm not even going to church on Sunday. Like I'm waking up on Sunday morning, watching it on YouTube. Once it's over, I will attempt to try to get some food and get back into bed. Like I was that tired. And so, and I also do know that I was stressed, you know, I was unhappy with my job at the time, and then, you know, dealing with my dad, that was causing me to have a lot of stress. And so that's what I was thinking, you know, where my fatigue was coming from. But now, okay, I'm skipping. Where am I going? Okay. Before I got my EMG, I believe it was probably, because I don't want to miss out these details. After I got the MRI for my back, my friend Ren kept saying, you need to get an MRI for your foot. And he was just like, I don't understand why nobody's like scanning your foot. Like you need your foot scanned. So I went to a podiatrist, and he started to treat me for tendonitis. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's tendonitis. So he gave me this big boot. Child, this boot was so heavy, and I didn't think I needed that. So I later went and got on Amazon and bought like an orthopedic shoe. They had a lot of padding, much better. I was able to walk my dog and do all the things. So then I did start to notice that the sharp pain that I was experiencing, I wasn't really experiencing it as much. So, all right, fast forward, right before I got the nerve test, I started to be very depressed. And I mean extremely depressed. And I am a person, you know, outside of all of, you know, this, I'm relatively healthy. You know, I don't really have a lot of illnesses or, you know, things like that. I'm pretty healthy. And my family, you know, history, we have like high blood pressure, like most Black folks in the South, you know, does. But, you know, I don't have it. And that's it. You know, we don't really have a lot of health issues. And so, I was just, you know, all of this was just really a bit confusing. I'm relatively a healthy person, and I'm also a happy person. So, you know, being depressed like I was very alarming. Because I couldn't understand, like, why can't I shake this? Because I'm really a happy person. I'm not a person that usually is depressed all the time. I'm really like upbeat. But I was noticing I was very depressed, and I couldn't understand why I couldn't shake it. You know, because at this point I was praying every day in my Bible, you know, asking God to deliver me from whatever this spirit is. I mean, because I'm like, shoot, at this point, am I plagued with something? Like, it was so bad. Like, I was having, you know, like very intrusive thoughts and just dreaming. Oh my gosh, like just a lot of like dreaming. And then I started having these weird headaches. And I mean like sharp pain in my head, and it's the most bizarre pain that I've ever felt. And now I'm like, Lord, I pray this isn't a tumor, you know. And it was just really wild. Like, I just couldn't understand what was going on with me. And so I know for a fact, because of all the symptoms that I was experiencing, I'm stressing myself out even more. Like, stressing myself out even more. So I am like Googling like crazy, putting all my symptoms in. And I mean, Google is telling me everything under the sun. So I'm advising, if anybody is going through anything, please don't Google. Because, you know, the anxiety that I was feeling and the symptoms from depression, you know, like, it was causing me to be very anxious, and no one could simply find an answer to what I was going through. So at this point, I'm pulling for straws, right? So I get the foot scan. It's normal. The podiatrist said the only thing he sees is a little inflammation. So anyway, at this point, I'm like, well, I'm about to take matters into my own hands. So me and my friend Ren, we decide to go on a keto, well, a fast. And a keto fast. And so, you know, I'm only eating between like a certain amount of hours just to see, you know, will my body feel better. Because at this point, I'm like, I gotta figure this out on my own, because no doctor is telling me. I don't know if they're even giving me the right test, right? So I'm fasting, and the only time I am eating meat is maybe like 3 days a week, and it's fish. So once the fast was over, I was feeling okay. I wasn't really feeling a lot of the sharp pain in my foot. Like, I was able to walk a little better, and I think it was because, you know, the orthopedic shoe that I had on. I wasn't applying so much pressure to my foot, you know, on those hard surfaces, because I have like hardwood floor in my house. So that helped. So I felt decent enough to where, you know, my homegirl hit me up and was like, hey girl, you know, I haven't seen you in a minute. Let's like hang out. And I was like, all right, cool. So I saw that Capital Grill had this like wine special going on. And keep in mind, I've been fasting for 21 days and I really hadn't drunk any type of alcohol or wine in a really long time, simply because I just wasn't sure what was going on with me. So, you know, we went to Capital Grill for this wine special that they have. And just to put y'all on, Capital Grill has like this unlimited wine special going on, I think until September. So I was just like, hey, let's go. So we went, we're catching up, telling her what's going on with me. And I had probably like 7-8 glasses of wine. Now keep in mind, they're not, of course, they're not full glasses. They're probably giving you maybe like this much, but I mean, for a person who hasn't drunk anything in a while, like by the 8th glass, I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I wasn't drunk, but definitely was feeling really good. Next morning, I wake up and having to go to my dad's, and I was bringing him some food, and I just remember having like the worst brain fog and just feeling very like delusional and anxious and very emotional. And so I pushed through to my dad to give him some breakfast, and then I was like, yeah, I need some food, I need some water, you know. So I went back towards my house, and as I was driving looking for a place to get some food, I noticed this clinic. And I had seen this clinic before on Instagram, and I knew that we had a couple of places in the city that I live, but I didn't realize it was one so close to my home. So at this point, I'm like, forget the food. Let me go in this clinic and see if I can get an IV pack for hydration. So I walk in, and you know, the ladies were super nice, and I'm just asking questions. It's like, hey, I've never been here before, and I think I need like a hydration pack. And so they could tell that like this girl probably had a time the night before. And so they asked me, they were like, so what were you doing yesterday? And I said, I was drinking. And they were like, oh, well, you don't need the hydration pack. You probably need the hangover cure. So I was like, all right, cool. So it's an IV, so it's a, you know, like an IV clinic, and they give you an IV. And so in the one that I got, I think the hangover cure came with B12, zinc, Zofran, and like something else. And so once I was looking at all the services, they had like pretty much every lab you could think of. You know, from your hormone levels to STD, they had testosterones, you know, like they just had a lot of different things that you could check. And I was like, hey, along with this hangover cure, can I get my vitamin D levels checked? And so they took my blood and was like, hey, we should, you know, have your results by Monday, because this was a Saturday. Monday came around, and they hadn't called me. I was anxious, so I called them that afternoon, and I was just like, hey, just curious to know what my results are. So they checked, and they were like, let me transfer you to the physician's assistant. And I was like, okay. So she got on the phone, and she was like, hey, so your results came back and your levels are at a 29. And I was like, oh, okay. What should they be? And she said that a 29 is a bit on the low side. It's actually considered like suboptimum, but she was like, you know, since it is low, we suggest that you come in and get vitamin D injections. So I was like, all right, sure, I'm coming today. So once I got off work, I went over and got the injection. So here's the thing with the vitamin D injection. So once I found out that my vitamin D levels were at 29, I just, you know, like any other person, just did a little research and, you know, just saw where the level should be. And Google said that between 30 and 100 is where we're supposed to be. So I sent this information to Ren. And of course, he was like, friend, you need to get your levels up. Medical professionals are going to say that between, you know, 30 and 100 is where your level should be. He said no, but actually you need to be between 50 and 70, you know, to be operating at your fullest potential. To be feeling good and refreshed and not, you know, experiencing like all of these symptoms. So so he was like, definitely get those injections, and it's gonna take a while for your symptoms to, you know, go away, but you will feel better. So I went to the clinic, got the injection in my hip, and I go back once a month for 3 months to get a 50,000 IU injection. So here is what I've experienced since the injection. Feeling of not wanting to do things went away. That was one of the first things I experienced, the sense of not wanting to do anything. Also, my overthinking mind became quiet. I wasn't experiencing a lot of anxiety, and I wasn't feeling a lot of the symptoms from depression. Those were like the immediate things that went away. The foot pain, neuropathy type issues are still there. Not as bad though, but still there. And I think that's probably going to be one of the symptoms that's going to take a while to heal. I'm not as tired, which is a great thing. The head pains, that weird like sharp head pains that I was experiencing, for the most part they're gone, but I haven't experienced any today. But maybe like a couple of days ago I was still experiencing them. Not a lot, but felt it like come and go a few times this week. And so thankfully I'm not experiencing that anymore, or any of like the headaches, because I kept having like headaches like right here and like in the back of my head is where I was experiencing the majority of my headaches. And so that also went away after a few days. So I'm just thankful that I'm on the road to recovery, you know, not feeling like I'm in agony anymore. So I'm definitely thankful that I went to Capitol Grill, got drunk, and saw this clinic. You know, God works in mysterious ways. And listen, God was the only thing that was keeping me throughout this journey, because it was really rough. And I just kept thinking, you know, this can't be what the rest of my life is going to feel like. You know, I was just that down. I thought, you know, sharing my story would be educational, and also helping others be proactive to check, even if maybe you don't feel like you're fatigued or having these headaches or back pain or whatever, you know, just simply just checking to be proactive. But if you are experiencing any of the symptoms that I've explained in this video, I would definitely consider getting checked as soon as possible. So if your numbers are low, like mine, I was a 29, you can hurry up and get injections, or maybe a doctor can prescribe to you a pill of 50,000 IUs, and you can take that up to 6 to 8 weeks. You can start to feel better and heal. I definitely suggest you do that as soon as possible. I'm here now, and I'm on the road to recovery, and I feel so much better. So like I said, I wanted to get this video out, especially to those who are Black and brown. We are typically the ones that are deficient of vitamin D. But you know, the videos that I've been watching, it's literally been everybody. You know, I hope this video serves someone right. I hope that I can help someone by just simply sharing my story, and that we all collectively can start to feel better, physically, mentally, and emotionally. This world is very hard at times, and life can beat you down, and stress is inevitable. It will come. My only advice is to find ways to cope with stress and not let it deplete your levels, because that's simply what happened with me. I had a job that was stressing me out, bills, and a sick parent, and I was dealing with it all at once. But once I was able to get out of some situations, the stress was gone. You know, I could feel the stress leaving my body, but still feeling those symptoms. So anytime you are dealing with any stress, I would definitely suggest just being proactive and just, you know, make sure your levels are between a 50 and 70, or 50, 100, whatever. Yeah, just be proactive and keep checking. So, you know, like I said, and find ways. In the summertime, go outside as much as you can. You know, stay out there for as long as you can. I know it's hot right now, but you know, just stay out there for as long as you can, because that's the natural way that we can get vitamin D. And let's just take care of ourselves. So, but anyway, I thought I was gonna keep it brief, but I think this video has gone on pretty long. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you like and subscribe, and please share this video with others who potentially could be dealing with the same issue. All right, I will see you guys later. Have a good one.